And we're here. Yes.
Yay!
Lida. I just called you Lida. Sorry, Vida. Vida Lill. How do you prefer I refer to you? Vida or Vida Lill?
Well, all my friends, and you're kind of a friend to me, Kyle.
I made it.
They call me Vida, but I really like Vida Lill because it's such a weird name. Never heard it before.
You want the
Vida
uniqueness.
is like when I travel abroad, especially in Spanish-speaking country, they love my name.
Okay.
Vida, viva la vida, oh vida.
Okay, but they would just want to stick to the Vida.
Yeah, but I really like when you put the Lill in the end, it gets really weird, and I love that.
I feel like a stern parent when I use your full name, though. I feel like you're in trouble when I have to use Vida Lill. Yeah, you get away from there right now.
That's true. You choose wherever you want, Kyle.
Okay, I will go back and forth depending on the mood. If I feel like I have to be stern, I will stick to Vida Lill.
Nice.
I want to start with a quick bio. Who is Vida Lill?
Oh, that's a difficult question to answer for sure. Well, I'm 28, almost 30 now, coming from a small town in Norway called Ås. Grew up there. It's nearby Oslo, and then
Beautiful place.
Yeah, well, beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
It's all right.
The bar is set too high here in Norway. That's the problem.
Started skiing and snowboarding when I was I was pretty old actually. I was 16 because we have no slopes in Ås.
No.
It's really flat. Country, flat kommune, what you call it,
Yeah.
And I started skiing, snowboarding. I fell in love with it, snowboarding for sure. So I moved around a lot. I lived in different places in Norway where you really can snowboard, like Hemsedal, Skeikampen, Kvitfjell, which is like huge snowboard places here in Norway.
Yes.
And then, I like to drink beers. I like to chat.
Don't we all?
I worked in radio, so I love to speak and chat. And
first time we met, I guess we were still stuck in the snowboard phase.
For sure.
Stuck. We hadn't quite figured out adulthood. We were scared of adulthood. And you and I specifically went to a place called Fogelfana.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, which is summer ski / snowboard hill, for those who don't know.
Sleep with pros.
Yeah.
That's why I went.
That was the goal?
Always.
No, but you were shredded.
Find a snowboarder boyfriend.
It wasn't always about that.
No, it wasn't.
No. It was about getting away. It was about escaping, is what I like to think. It was more about getting out of the city and not having to worry about responsibilities, but going out and just skiing every day and being outside and just having a good time. But that had to end one day. And when did it end for you?
Well, it ended in 2016, I guess, because then I've been bartending and working as a waitress for so many years, and having this lifestyle of during winters in Norway, you move to a snowboard place, and then you take the summers in Oslo, right? And then in 2016, I got a job offer from NRK, which is like the public radio station here in Norway, and that's when kind of adulthood, I guess, dropped in, and I haven't snowboarded really for the last 3 years. No. I haven't been drunk on a Monday. It was just
drunk on a Monday.
Yeah,
come on, get it together.
That's your bar. Happened there in 2016 when I moved from Skeikampen, a snowboard ski resort, and then I moved to Trondheim to work in NRK.
Okay. But before that, you were a famous TV star.
Yeah. I think that helped me get that job in NRK.
Yeah.
Because it was always kind of my dream. So I searched for a job there since I was 18.
Okay, see, I didn't know this.
But they never answered me. But then I went to a reality show here in Norway called Paradise Hotel.
Yes, which funny enough started in the States first.
Yeah, it did.
And it's coming back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming back now. Yeah.
It had one season, I remember. It was on TV2, which is a Norwegian channel, and I couldn't watch it because my mom was like, no, don't watch this shit. No. But I was still like, this is so
Did you ever watch any of it?
I watched the whole season of season 1 Paradise Hotel America.
The one and only.
Yeah, the one and only. And then, I mean, Denmark took it, and then Norway.
Okay, so Denmark was first.
Denmark was first. They're in like season 20 or something.
Is it as big of a deal in Denmark as it is in Norway?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Maybe even bigger. But because, I mean, they launched all these other reality concepts, which is like youths getting drunk, sleeping together, and
Classic.
Drama. But Paradise Hotel is like the longest living series, I think, both in Denmark and in Norway as well.
Yeah.
For like trash TV.
Trash
reality.
TV, yes. And you being the winner of the season?
Yeah, I was. It was kind of weird, actually, because I didn't... There was a friend of mine. I just got single. I started studying in Volda. And then it just... Yeah, it didn't work out at all. I started school and I was just like... I'm not motivated for this at all. I just want to get drunk. And so I was kind of in this crisis, you know? And I was like, what do I do? I have no money. I live in Volda. I dropped my studies and I couldn't tell mom and dad, right? No. So I was still like, I'm going to school, going great, no problem.
So you did it without, you joined the show without telling your parents?
Well, I had to tell them eventually, you know.
When, was it before the episode aired or after?
Oh, no, I told them when I left, like during Christmas. It was so bad that Christmas. Yeah, it was so bad because in the end, I mean, mom and dad, they never watched the show, but they heard all about it, right? And they were really, really skeptical and negative, especially my mom. She was like having a heart attack. And I told her on like a cafeteria just so she wouldn't like freak out.
Oh, no,
so
put her
I
in
just
public.
did it in public, right?
No, it's like breaking up with your girlfriend. Do it in public and you won't get the scene. Oh my God.
And before checking into Paradise Hotel as well, you have to do like a chlamydia test. Okay. Because just so you don't have any diseases bringing into the hotel,
that makes
right?
Sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they called me like this day and they told me, you have chlamydia. And you have to tell your mom and dad you're going.
Oh my God. Like, so they're the ones who insisted that you tell your mom and dad based on that.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Well, of course, I had to, everything was closed, you know, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
So I had to call my doctor in Ås and be like, I really need you to just work some overtime this Christmas because I need chlamydia medicine.
Oh my God. So when you told your parents, what did you lead with?
They thought I was pregnant though, because I'm like, I have a message and this is,
you made it sound very serious.
Really serious. And they were like, okay, what's going on? And then I told them, well, mom and dad, I'm going to Paradise Hotel. I'm going to be a reality star and I have chlamydia.
And they were worked up about it?
Well, my mom she was hysterical, I guess. My dad was still like, she was, I think she was, I mean, it's a small town, Ås, right? So people talk, everybody knows everyone, and people talk, and I'm
going to find a picture.
I think she was scared of course she was scared of me destroying anything for the future. Yes. And I think she was scared also about just people talking, right? Yeah.
So this is you.
This is me.
After having won.
Yeah. I'm really drunk. Yeah. You can see it. There was like a couple of interviews in the big newspapers here in Norway, and I was just I couldn't even look into the camera. I was just like
I think that's why you were one of the best things to happen to the show. Because you were one of the most real people I think who have ever made it to that show, let alone won it.
Well, I mean, after Paradise Hotel, I haven't really... A lot of people get shit, right? Mm-hmm. And of course you get some shit, like, you're ugly, you're fat. Yeah. All these haters or
kids
trolls,
who don't understand what they're writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I I think everybody kind of was cheering for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And
everybody I knew.
Everybody liked me. I was nice. I was crazy for sure.
Yeah,
I was drinking and I was naked and I was jerking off 2 guys, you know?
That's what it takes.
Yeah, so I was
somehow.
Was drama, but I was never unkind, unfriendly. I never talked shit about people. I was there having a good time. I was in Mexico for the first time.
Yes.
And I didn't know what the future would bring. And I was 21 and I was just like, okay.
You were 21 then?
Yeah, 21.
Okay. Okay.
2000.
It's been a while.
No, I was turning 22 that summer.
Okay.
So.
But that was, I think that's why everybody did really enjoy following you on the show, is because you seemed so much like an authentic individual. Whereas a lot of the other people on the show don't. They seem, for example, I think the show's biggest appeal is that it's almost like going to a zoo. You watch a lot
That's
of
why people watch it.
I think it is. I think it is. It's like going to a window at a zoo and then just sitting there and watching the interaction between the animals. And I call them animals hesitantly because they're nice people, but they seem different from everybody you know, and that's kind of the point of being on TV.
Yeah, for sure.
But you were close enough to normal that I think close enough to normal. That's a good title. I apologize. But you were so close to how everybody else would have acted that I think everybody saw themselves in you, and that was a big part of it.
Well, thank you.
It was meant to be a compliment, yes.
But
it got sidetracked.
Of course, there's kind of one type of people joining Paradise Hotel. Of course, they want attention, maybe become a celebrity.
Yeah.
And they usually maybe have some silicone tits. And
yes. That's a staple of the show.
Yeah, so I was all natural, of course. I never wanted, if I won, I was like, people were like, yeah, I'm buying new boobs if I win the money prize, right? And I was just
why would they say that? Why would you say that in public? I don't care what you spend the money on if you win. You don't have to tell us that. Nobody even asked. Just say a new car. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think on the interview on this day, I think I told them that I was going to buy a new tent and go to Folgefonna for the money I won.
That's why I appreciated it. That's why I was appreciating
it. That's different, right?
Yes.
Everybody else, or not everybody, but there's kind of one type of people joining the show, and I think maybe I stood out just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it changed you, the show?
Well, yeah, for sure. I think I've grown on it, and I feel like it's okay to regret stuff. Everybody's all the time like, I don't regret anything, bloody.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
No matter who says that, that's a lie.
You have regrets in your life. And it's okay to say, oh my God, I really regret that I jerked off 2 guys on TV. I really regret that. And that's all right.
I think anybody would. Yes.
Yeah, right. So I learned that for sure. And it's just... I learned a lot about people too, right? I learned about meeting different people with different interests, different personalities than you, and still finding something that you have in common and finding out that, hey, these people are actually pretty great. Yeah. They're nice, they're cool. And we have a lot of in common, even though it doesn't look like it, right?
Yeah. Did you ever think about capitalizing off that fame?
Nah, I wanted to do it different after the show, like because you get some different offers. Well, Instagram wasn't a big thing yet. Now everybody becomes Instagram famous, right? And they do. Yeah. They get sponsors out of teats and tits and eyelashes and everything, which wasn't that big. But you had you could travel around in Norway, going to parties and I think I did that once, and I was like, okay, I'm never doing this again. Yeah. And I wanted to just... people were starting blogs, of course.
Yeah, that was the blog era.
Yeah,
yes.
The big blog area.
Of course, yeah.
With today I drank coffee, and then I met my friend. And it was so boring, and I just wanted to use kind of the fame to something different. And I didn't know what yet, but radio was the big goal.
Yes.
So I was thinking just how can I do this smart, right?
It's genius. It's a genius investment.
Yeah, it was. And then, of course, I get to work on Paradise Hotel 3 years after. Like, I worked as a web host.
Yes, yeah.
And I got a lot of contacts in TV, of course. I got a lot of tips from people who worked in the business for years and people cheering for me. So yeah, I think that was good that I didn't go all in blog, because that wouldn't have been me. No.
I think it would have been weird for you as well. Yeah. But that, because the money you won at the end of the show, 200,000, as you can see there, it's not life-changing.
No, it's not. It seemed like I never had that amount of money when I was 21. Just like, this is crazy. But, I mean, you can't buy an apartment. No. You can buy a car, but it's still...
Yeah, I mean, it's
still... Well, it's a lot of money, but it's
a lot of money for a 21-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I spent a lot that summer. 20. Yes. Yeah, 2012. It was a good summer. I went to Barcelona, Paris. I went to all the festivals I wanted. I went to Folgefonna and Snowboard, and I could just buy drinks for all my friends, and I was really popular that summer.
Yes.
I think maybe I peaked that summer.
But that's kind of the point of that amount of money, isn't it? I mean, it's just sort of enough to initiate some sort of ability to capitalize on the fame you're going to get from the show, if that makes sense. I think the smartest way to deal with the show is to realize that the value that comes out of it is that more people know who you are.
Yeah.
And I think you played that very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. and I have to say, I also saved some of the money, right? Yes. So after that summer, I was like, okay, I still have like 150,000 kroners.
Oh, okay.
I should do something like put them on we have this BSU in Norway where you put in money that you kind of lock in there.
Yes, it's
on your
to save for an apartment.
Exactly. So I was good enough to put some money in there and then live life for the rest of it.
That was smart. That was smart. You got a lot of notoriety on that show. You got a lot of attention. A lot of people started to notice you because we hung out before and after the show, and there's a big difference between hanging out with Vida Lill and just drinking beers and then hanging out with Vida Lill and dodging selfies every, 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. Did that bother you?
Well, yeah, it depends on the day. It bothered me, a Sunday when you wake up and you're hungover and you need toilet paper and pizza. And you go down to the store and you're like, selfie! Yeah. And you still got mascara down your, You look like shit, you smell like shit, and here comes Vida Lill down to the store and the 14-year-olds go crazy.
Do you think that would have been the same for a girl with fake tits and long hair extensions?
Well, I think everybody has days where they just want to be invisible, right? Where they just want to... They don't want to talk to anyone. They don't want to do anything. They just want to be kind of alone and go into this own bubble where you eat some, you drink some, but you're still like, So I think everyone who's a celebrity has days where they're just like, I can't go to the store right now because I don't want to take selfies today. Yeah. And
you just get a friend to do it.
Exactly. And then some days, I mean, it's really cool to get all the attention. And it's kind of addictive. When you get attention, you love it and you want more and you...
I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, it's I mean, it's kind of a reward for the kind of jobs that you've held in the past. You've been such a public personality that you almost get to accept that as not payment, but like a virtue of the job.
Yeah, for sure. It's a kind of a 24/7 job because if you meet somebody listening to your radio show outside on a bar or whatever, you have to be like really nice to them. And
do you feel like you do?
Yeah, because just like you don't want them to go on the internet and write shitty stuff about you. Or
are you scared of that?
Yeah, well, I know that you shouldn't read it first, you shouldn't read it, right? When somebody writes shit about you. And second of all, you shouldn't take it personally. But it's still, some comments really hit you. And some comments you just, it depends on the day, right?
Yeah,
you have good days, you have bad days. You have
the pizza and toilet paper hangover days.
Exactly. And then when you write that you're ugly and fat, that's when you're like, do
you sort of start to convince yourself that must be a basis for those kinds of comments?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
That's interesting because I can't put myself in that position because I've never been in that position. But I feel like I would have thick enough skin that I could just get past that. But there's a very distinct chance that I wouldn't. I
think also, this is just a conspiracy. I think boys in general have higher self-esteem. Especially to being like public and getting shit and just but there's so many who likes me. And then with girls, I think it's there's a lot of comments about your looks for sure. And there's a lot of pressure on looks, and of course it's like that for boys in 2019 as well. But I think it's even more on the girls, right?
Of course.
So it's difficult when you hear all day long that you have small tits.
In
the end, you're like, I really have small tits, don't I?
Is that an insult? That's a crazy insult. But I think a lot of it stems from girls having all the power. And when you're a young boy and you're attracted to women and you're going out and trying to find women and you're on that hunt, so to speak, girls have all the power. They have all of it. So it's so easy to hate from below. I think that's where a little bit of it stems. Maybe I'm reaching.
Yeah, I just feel like the reason why boys and men has kind of ruled everything in so many years is because I feel like when a girl and a boy comes in with a pitch, the guy believes in it just a little bit more. And not, of course, in every case. I mean, there's exceptions everywhere, but it's just... I feel like there's a higher self-esteem between boys than with girls, but I may be wrong.
I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I agree, but it's just not something I ever really thought about.
And of course, girls find the self-esteem in boys attractive as well. So if you maybe don't have that high self-esteem, then you shouldn't show it, right? You should still be like... here I am.
Puff out your chest and flex every now and then.
Because it's unattractive to...
It's a hard thing to avoid, isn't it? Now I think about it, I realize I do that a lot.
Everything is going so good here.
I'm a little too overconfident. Okay, I got to check myself sometimes. I'm starting to realize that. Okay, we can take a quick break so I can reset the camera and we can pitch some sponsors who I'm going to make up because I don't actually have any sponsors.
Not yet.
And when we come back, we'll move on. I want to talk a little bit more about your career at NRK, and we'll expand from there. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Vida Lill's Instagram page. That's at Vida Lill with 2 L's at the end. She gets up to some pretty cool shit, so go check her out. Let her know where you came from, and have a look. Drop a like, some comments, do what you do. Oh, hey, look, snowboarding in the summer. That's cool. And we're back. Thank you to our sponsors who I just made up. They're very talented people. It's more often than not going to be a pitch for your Instagram page. So if that's what it was, thank you for letting me share that. From here, I want to move on to your career. I want to talk about the transition between Paradise Hotel and who you were then to finally getting the job that you had always hoped for when you were a kid. Because it was a dream job for you. It was something you...
Yeah, for sure. I always loved radio. I loved I just love the... Yeah, I love everything about radio. Making your own pictures and in storytelling. And
you're good at it.
Yeah, and I really like it. And music, of course, and everything about radio. So I listened to radio, of course, when I was a young girl all the time. And I made my own radio shows with this, the cassette.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
And I played it in, and I had like this small microphone sitting. So it was a big dream, and especially then NRK P3, which was like the big youth channel here in Norway.
Yes, they lead the the radio scene?
Yeah, like I think it's from 19 to 29 is the age that NRK P3 is trying to reach out to.
Okay. 19 to 29.
Yeah.
That's the key range.
Like that.
That's it. That's it. But 2 more years and we're out of that. Do you realize that?
I know.
You said
so
earlier
scary.
on you're 28, close to 30. And that hit me too hard. I'm 28 as well, so it's a scary prospect.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad.
We were made in the 80s.
Made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Was I? No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
I'm October.
Oh, man.
Which is the 10th, so I was made in February. Yes, product of the 90s. 100%. That's funny. I never thought about that.
Oh, I always say that.
Yeah, so are you a true 80s child then? Yes. Of course. Wouldn't we all like to be an 80s child? Because now it's such a popular thing, right? Everybody's capitalizing on the 80s. It's getting out of hand.
True.
So what would you say was your official title at NRK?
Well, I was a radio host. Yeah. I started us off as a radio DJ, where music is important and just mixing everything to sound good and just getting snaps and text messages, so people who listens and wants to hear different songs and
is that
a lot
exhausting?
of music.
Is that exhausting? It's like a DJ taking requests. I imagine that is terrible.
Yeah, no, but it's fun. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, because people.
I've sent you requests.
Yeah.
On car rides home, I've texted in requests.
A lot of people did, which was great. Every time a friend listened, I was super stoked.
It was fantastic hearing you.
Yeah,
it was great. It's such a strange feeling because it's such like a highly regarded position, and when you see a friend who's finally accomplished it, it brings it back down to earth.
Yeah.
So suddenly you're now you're not so celebrated. You're more just appreciated. Like, this is something that I know you're good at, and I'm happy to see my friend there. So it was always a pleasure to hear you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then after like half a year, I get to go take over a show, kind of a late night show, or not late night. It was between like 5 and 7. So it wasn't that many listeners, but that also gave us really, we could do whatever we want, right? The bosses weren't listening.
Right,
so
you're asking me.
We just made radio of what we thought was fun. Me and my co-host, Adelina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very talented woman.
Yeah, really good. Cool woman.
I have to do a quick search so we have some imagery.
And it went really well, really fast in NRK P3. I was surprised. This
is my favorite.
A year after, that's when I get to do Perspektiv, which was just like a crazy idea. I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah.
They called me. I was on vacation in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a big deal, Perspektiv. It's like a huge event in the P3 universe.
Yeah.
And so when they called and asked me to be a host of the show, it's for hosting together. Mm-hmm. It was just crazy, and it was.
Can you explain the concept of the show a bit?
Well, it's for a TV-aksjon, so it's gathering all of Norway money from all over the country to give to charity. And every year there's a new charity. So we had Red Cross, for example, one year. We have Amnesty another year. We had somebody protecting the rainforest one year. And this year we had the UNICEF.
UNICEF.
Yeah, so it was for children especially, and education. And it's just so... In Norway, we take that for granted for sure, because everybody... I mean, the school is for free.
Yes.
Which is great about Norway.
Yes.
But of course, if you live in Sierra Leone or Colombia or whatever,
that's a luxury.
Yeah, and especially girls in some countries have really difficult for attending school. So, yeah, it was just really easy to get in money to the case because it was so...
Yeah. And it's something Norwegians do pretty well, I think,
the
charity, because we have extra money to give.
Yeah, for sure.
We're lucky enough in that Norwegians make, on average, much higher wage than most other countries.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, and P3, because TV-aksjon is like the big event, right? But P3 has its own event then called P3-aksjon, which is just a part of the big event, TV-aksjon. But it's the youth getting together and collecting money, right? Yeah. So it's students who doesn't, I mean, they count their money and they buy noodles and they still give a lot of money to P3-aksjon to just... Yeah. I get chills just talking about it.
Yeah, you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, I love P3-aksjon.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're really passionate about it.
and of course, the concept as well is that we're collecting money with the listeners and viewers, telling the host what to do, right? So get a new haircut. Well, that will cost us 80,000 for charity. So if we collect 80,000, you will get a new haircut.
You set the bar pretty low. 80,000 for a...
Yeah, I don't remember if it was 80,000, but it was something, maybe 100. And you do all this, weird and crazy shit.
What other weird and crazy shit was on there?
Well, I drank, you see a picture there where I drank like a smoothie of nasty stuff.
That is flattering.
Yeah, I hold 2 spiders and a snake.
Oh my God.
I'd done a lot of training because I really hate working out. Yeah.
That's a picture.
That's really nasty.
Okay, I can't hold that up for too long. It's killing me.
And then of course a lot of hair stuff because the listeners love that we do shit to our hair.
Why?
I don't know. It's just I think it's so visible. So even if because it goes on for 100 hours, right? And people are watching during the day and then maybe they have to go to school and then they come back to the radio or the TV and they just see, oh shit, something happened.
Something
here.
changed.
Yeah, right?
Okay. Then they have to go back and watch.
Exactly. So I think they love that. Yeah, you actually see that. Oi.
Okay.
Something happened in the studio while I was away.
Maybe after the next commercial break, I'll have no hair.
Yeah, it's so weird. They really enjoy seeing us.
What is that? Masochism?
Yeah, it's weird.
People are so shallow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. If that's what it takes to get you to donate, that's wild.
It's fun though. So that's why this year I had to shave my hair.
But that was my next question is why I don't see anybody else changing their hair that much.
Yeah, that's true. But
why you? They really picked on you.
Well, before you go into the P3-aksjon, you can always set some boundaries, right? Yeah. So if you're really, really, really afraid of heights or if you really hate snakes, I mean, you can tell them and they will kind of respect that, right? Yeah. And so I think all the girls have always been a bit like, okay, you can do something to my hair, but do not shave it off. Yeah, because that's the big one. Yeah, that is a big one. Because that means that you don't have hair for another. Yeah. Or especially I had really long hair, and it's gonna take 3 years or something to get that length back. So I think. Are you aiming to get that length back? Yeah, I hope so. Okay. Yeah. You're not happy with this? Well, now I just been to cutting it and it looks good. Yeah, now it looks good, but I mean, there's so many faces when you're skinning your hair. Yes. I mean, there's so many weird faces, and I'm not done with it. I'm still gonna have so much fucked up hair. Yeah, I'm stuck in a phase now as well. Yeah, I'm trying to grow my hair out as well, and it's. And I'm gonna be there in I don't know, maybe soon enough. Your hair's growing back really fast. During summer, maybe. Yes. Or during autumn. Yeah, whenever it comes. That's when I'll have your hair, I guess. But you pull it off. Well, thank you. It's been it's just so weird also when you're so used to having that long hair and you never done anything with it. It's just always there, so maybe you brush it and then you go out the door and you look great because you have long blonde hair. You don't look great because you have long blonde hair. No. No, it's true. But before it was more about the makeup and the clothes, and now I have this. I have to, before I walk out the door, I really have to do like put wax in my hair and brush it and try to like get a.
Yeah. Now you know how tough men have it.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
not.
hate
It takes
wax.
2 seconds.
No, well, maybe when you had short hair your whole life, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
okay.
when you were 14,
Yeah.
and you tried to do something cool with your hair.
Yeah, I don't want to remember this times. I think my hair was longer than this when I was 14, and I had it like part in the middle because I don't know what happened then.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2004. That was a tough time. That's when I first moved to Norway, actually.
Hey.
Good times. Yeah. A blessing.
Yeah, it just it's hair is identity, I think.
Yes, it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So losing my hair was kind of an identity crisis as well. Because
Okay.
I was just like, okay, who's this new person I'm looking at?
Hence
in
the
mirror?
tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, now I look more like, I think I look more badass. Before I was
Yeah, but
more.
you do.
Yeah, because I never get stopped in security on
Airports?
Yeah, airports, right? So after I got short hair, I get stopped all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
And of course, with the dreads, I got stopped like.
Yeah, I can imagine that was a nightmare in more ways
they
than
were
one.
checking my hair for explosives and narcotics all the time.
Oh my
and
god!
And I just feel like I look more badass, but before I just smiled and waved, and I just passed every security, and now I'm more like a.
Do you get more looks on the street as well?
Yeah. Well, especially when you're bald. I mean, now
Yeah.
I don't get that much looks, but when I was bald, people thought I had cancer for sure.
Did anybody ever ask?
No, but it was kind of the pity in their eyes because I went on vacation to Malta just the week after Petraction to just relax. I was on this all-inclusive family hotel.
Nice.
And they were just like elders and families there, and they were all just like, why is that woman bald, Mom?
Oh my god.
And people were standing up for me on buses because I'm in like 60 years
No,
old.
really?
So, yeah,
No.
because they thought I was sick because
Oh
it's
my
breast
God.
cancer month, right?
Oh my god.
So there's cancer everywhere. And here comes this bald young lady. And they're like, oh my God, you're so young, you poor thing.
Did you just take advantage of it?
No.
Hell yeah, I'm taking your seat. The old asshole.
I was just like, I'm okay. I'm not sick. I'm just, yeah.
That's a weird thing to have to explain to somebody. But have you gotten used to it? Short hair, or does it still feel weird?
I still feels weird. And it's because of all the faces with short hair. It's never the same, right? And yeah, it's still weird. I miss my hair. I do.
Miss your hair. Yeah, it will come soon enough. It's just hair. It's fine.
It's just hair. Right.
I tell you, when did you shave it?
In October.
In October.
Yeah.
Come this summer, you are going to enjoy it so much.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I also enjoy like showering and stuff because it dries out in like 10
it's
minutes.
sleeping. It's never in your face.
I know. There's really a lot of positive things about
short hair is great.
And I never use like shampoo, balsam, like all these products I had before.
Yes.
I just stopped it.
Yeah.
When I got bald, I was just like,
why?
Why?
Why? What am I taking care of now?
Yeah. So it's cheap and it's really nice after showering.
Yes. You spent how long at NRK?
I was there for 2 years and 10 months, like really close to 3 years. Yeah.
2 years and 10 months, close to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
It was not long enough, but
Trying to find
still
a picture of you behind the microphone that we can have up. Something maybe a little bit more flattering than this.
But there has to be some, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Did you guys ever film anything?
Yeah, we filmed a lot, especially during Petraction. And then we we made a lot of films for social medias, for Instagram and Facebook.
A lot of short stuff.
Yeah, like 2 minutes of funny story or like a funny guest or something. So we filmed a lot in the end there. So when I came into radio, I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever, because you never have to wear makeup. You never have to have some cool clothes on. It's just like, this is all the good stuff about working in radio versus TV, where you have to look like ship. You
gotta be perfect every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise you get those comments.
Yeah. But in the end, we were filming pretty much everything. And then we have our own guy working in social media in our... Yeah, and he was just cutting out whatever he found funny.
Okay, highlights and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So,
did you ever release anything long form, like an hour, 2 hours of talking?
Well, no, not really.
No,
I think Norway hasn't come there yet. We don't watch people talking. I mean, I know that Joe Rogan, for example, is like
he's the king of it. Yeah,
yeah, and he has like 4 hours interviews.
Yeah, it gets heavy. Yeah,
and people are watching it all. But in Norway, we haven't come that far yet.
Do you think there's room for it in Norway?
I hope so, and I think so. I mean, podcast is just chong.
That's what I wanted to transition into. Is how relatable do you find your previous job at NRK to podcasting?
Well, it's different because in radio, usually we had like 3 to 5 minutes where we could take a story or something in the news or having a guest, and then between we played songs, right?
Yeah.
So usually we started off and we ended kind of there. So we were talking about, for example, immigration in Norway. We had 3 to 5 minutes to talk about immigration in Norway.
That's a tough thing to do in 3 to 5 minutes.
Exactly. And then we talked about burgers, and then we talked about haircuts. Yeah. And you just change the theme all the time. So I think it's two different universe, even though it's all about, I mean, talking and telling good stories, and
there are different. Plenty similarities.
Yeah, for sure. Do
you think it's something that seems a little bit more present, podcasting versus radio? Is podcasting the new radio?
Well, yeah, kind of. I think podcasting is for all the great interviews and all the great stories, but I still feel like there's so many, especially working in like plumbers and electricians, who just they don't want to choose anything to listen to because they have 8 hours of work and the radio is just on, and they get the mix of talking about burgers and hearing a song you like. And it's just because now we have to pick everything, right? So we have to pick what we want to watch, what we want to listen to, what we want to and I think sometimes it's just good to just put on press play, and you don't know what you're gonna get, but it's nice.
Do you feel like new media, in a sense, threatened your job at NRK? Like, did that play a role in them letting you go?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, cutting off the FM net that we did in Norway to go over to dub, and of course, Spotify, just like you can have your own list with all of your favorite songs. You don't discover music on radio like you did before.
No, that's tough.
Exactly. So yeah, of course, Spotify and podcasting and stuff has threatens radio in a way, but I think also they go kind of hand in hand, right? So some people still like explore a really cool song on radio and they add it to the Spotify list, and they have some hours of day where they really want to listen to Spotify, some hours of where they want to listen to radio, and so I think they work well together as well, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think radio stations like NRK are trying to adapt to that, to new media?
Yeah, for sure. They're working really hard. But it's such a huge company. Like, it's such a... So it goes maybe too slow all the time. So they're always behind. When YouTube comes and it just... Everybody's watching YouTube. It still takes a year before NRK makes a YouTube channel, right?
There's a lot of new infrastructure you have to build up.
Exactly, new jobs and what do we do on YouTube? Like, it's easier for me to just like, I want to start a YouTube channel, and then you start a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
But NRK has to all the time find out what they're doing, how they're gonna do it, and it's just a long process.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's something that's, I mean, I have stopped listening to radio a lot recently. Before last year, I didn't own a car. And the car is like the number one radio listening spot. So I found it so hard to just sit down, turn on the radio, and then move on. And in place of that, I've been doing podcasts. Like, I've been listening to Joe Rogan and these guys, and I can do Joe Rogan's like 3-hour podcasts pretty easily. You just sit down, do some work, and have that on in the background. And I'm just wondering if somebody like NRK or NRK P3 were to create a specific podcast and it was branded with NRK P3, would that be harmful or helpful?
Oof, I don't know. I think helpful for sure. I mean, usually everybody's heard of NRK in some form, and P3 is also a huge, like, everybody knows it, right, in Norway. So I think it's a good thing. I don't know how hard they work to get like the biggest podcast and stuff, because it's all about people having one job and then maybe they have to do something else, and it's complicated.
I guess my question is, if you directly translate from radio to YouTube, for example, does the word radio hurt your chances to thrive on YouTube? Like, would the word radio kind of hinder?
I don't know. It's a good question. What do you think?
I'm curious. I don't know. If it was like, if Joe Rogan, for example, we'll just continue with Joe Rogan. If he was a radio host beforehand and then moved with the radio channel to YouTube and had the YouTube channel named the same thing, I don't think I would be so enthusiastic about listening to his podcasts. I mean, the content, it's tough to say because it's so hypothetical, but the content obviously rules, number one. So if it's the same content, it's still Joe Rogan. I
mean, so many people already then, he made Joe Rogan already had so many fans, right? So when he started, when he then started YouTube, all the fans would still like check it out. Even though they wouldn't love it or hate it, or they would still like, oh, it's Joe Rogan. He has a new thing now. On YouTube, we have to check it out.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know.
But having said that, I mean, there are a lot of radio stations that have pulled it off, like Sway in the Morning, and like those guys that, I forget what they're called, but like Charlemagne the God and those guys, those radio hosts. So I'm curious. There's comes a time where they're going to have to transition. There will come a time when radio is so minor compared to new media that they're going to have to make the transition. So I'm curious to see where that transition is going to be, who's going to be involved, and how many people are going to continue on with the company versus expand to new channels. Yeah.
I think in Norway, you don't make a ton of money yet on podcasts.
No. You're stupid for trying.
But after, give it some years and there'll probably be more money in it. And then I think we'll see more of the transition. Yeah.
It's also a matter of language, I think, as well. Norwegian limits your audience so much.
Exactly.
And like you were saying, in Norway, it's so rare to do like a video podcast where there's so much more room for valuable advertising space. Yeah,
and that's a huge problem for, I mean, NRK P3 and NRK and other medias in Norway, because before they were konkurranse. Competition with each other, right? It was NRK, TV2, TV3. But now they're in competition with HBO, Netflix, Spotify, like the huge, I mean, Serial and This American Life and Joe Rogan. It's huge in Norway as well.
Yes.
And NRK P3 is in competition with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So it's
which is interesting now that you say that out loud. Okay. Yeah, that's curious.
Well, I think it's harder now to because we can just choose from so many. I mean, Netflix, they have tons of money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, HBO as well. So of course they're gonna make like really good series and documentaries and everything. And NRK have to compete with that, and they don't have the same budget.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways to entertain yourself now.
Yeah, I know.
A lot.
A lot.
And on that note, I'm going to take a second break, and we'll go to a second set of sponsors who I will have to find for makeup, and we'll be right back. This episode is also brought to you by my Instagram page at KYLEMEYR on Instagram. Check it out. I do some kind of cool stuff, I guess. I don't really know how to sell myself, but I'm giving it my best. Wow, there's Martin. Neat. We're back once again. Thank you to those sponsors who I just made up and actually do not exist. One day. So we come from talking about the change between radio and new media. And I want to know, now that you're free, so to speak, you've broken the chains of radio, maybe involuntarily, but I think it's a good thing. Are you considering moving on to doing your own sort of hosting?
Yeah, I'm considering it. Yeah, I am. But it's just when I lost my job at NRK P3, it was just I was surprised. I was disappointed. So I just need to like land somewhere first now and just figure out what do I want to do, because I feel like everybody has a podcast now, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, you have to find a concept that is good. You have to find maybe somebody you want to do it with, or do you want to do it alone? You have to find interesting guests.
Does there need to be a concept?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like I want to do that because right now there's so many just like famous people talking about what they did. It's like a blog.
It is like a blog.
It is
That's
like
a
a
good
blog
way
now.
to put it.
Yeah,
in
like,
Norway,
and all of the bloggers now do have a podcast.
Yes.
So I just wanted to stick it out, right? I don't want to be, there's a reality contestant who opened a podcast where she and a friend talk about what coffee they drank for lunch.
I think you're beyond the title of reality contestant.
But still, I mean, some people still just see me as a reality contestant, which is fine. But I just, and of course, there's a lot of work. I'm so used to now getting my payment, doing my job, having the boss, and it's just gonna be a whole new setting if I'm gonna be my own boss and do freelance. It's
that's a bit scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yes.
It's really scary.
It's not as hard as you think it is. But it's
maybe
a bit
not,
scary.
But it's scary.
And you'll love it in the end. I promise you, working for yourself is something that's going to suit you better than having a boss.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I really want to believe you, Kyle.
I believe myself. I've been working for myself for 6 years or something now.
That's true.
And it's something I am very appreciative every day.
Yeah.
It allows me to work at any hour I want. If I'm feeling inspired at midnight, I can just get up and move and edit or whatever. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, and of course I doubt sometimes that if I have the passion to do it, because I know it's a lot of hard work in the beginning.
Yeah, and it can be.
Yes. Not a lot of money to get in the beginning as well.
That's also true. Yeah.
And then, of course, you have to push. And in the end, you will make money probably. You will have different kind of jobs. You will have the network that you need. But I think the beginning is scary. And do I have the strength? Kind of to do it.
Yeah, the motivation, the passion, the courage.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, especially for somebody like you, talking into a microphone and being a personality is something that comes as second nature now. It's something that you've been practicing forever. So once you get yourself behind a microphone, I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think you're somebody who has created that habit. And that's what it's all about. You have to create these habits, and then it's not so much about motivation or passion or courage anymore. It's about, I haven't done it today. I feel bad for not having done it, maybe I should do it.
Yeah, so it becomes a routine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think building that routine is the most important part of working for yourself.
Yeah.
And that takes a week, 2 weeks. Once you've sort of gotten yourself
It takes
in that.
more than that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. No, 2 weeks of straight every day. I'm going to be productive and do something that builds my platform. Then you're fine. You're in it.
Well, now you're giving me motivation for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
A success story. Yes. But I think it's similar as like going to the gym, for example. If you want to become a fit person, if that you have like a certain summer body, that's the goal. You have to start somewhere, and you start easy, and then you just get addicted to the habit. And once you have gone to the gym 4 times a week for the first 2 weeks, if you miss 2 days in a row the next week, you're going to feel really weird about yourself. And there's going to be something missing. And I think that's the same with everything. I
feel, janteloven is a rule here in Norway, right? You shouldn't think that you're something. You shouldn't stick out. You shouldn't. And working for yourself, you have to kind of push yourself out there, like all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You have to be like, here I am. Check this out. Watch me. Yeah. I'm doing this.
You can't be modest.
Exactly. No. And I think that's also kind of a step that I have to take, and just like...
You think so?
Yeah.
Who
and
says
just
you...
drop all this... ideas of me being like, you don't need to listen to this if you don't. I'm
but this
just like laid back.
Coming back to what we first talked about in Paradise, I think this is your selling point. That you're real. You're not a fake person who's going to put on a different personality because you're behind a microphone. You're not going to push yourself any harder than you think you need to. You're not going to go out and throw your business card at everybody who walks. I think that's part of the attractiveness to something that you're behind. I think that's something that's going to carry you pretty far.
Yeah.
I don't think you need the gimmicks. I don't think you need the push. I don't think you need all that.
Okay. But it's still, I think it's a step to just be all over Instagram like, hello.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Hey, whoa.
It definitely helps. So what do you want to do? Now that you're in Oslo, you're free. What's on your list?
First off on my list is just like cleaning the apartment I live in right now, where my boyfriend lived for 2 years. And
Is he sloppy?
No, well, he's not sloppy. He cleans, but it's just like, the
bare minimum?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I guess so. Well, it looks clean all the time, kind of, but it's I know for sure that like the bathroom's floor hasn't been cleaned.
Oh no!
Probably, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So cleaning is on my list, and just it's spring, fantastic. It's
been great weather
since I came back, which is, I just miss Oslo so much, and I missed all my friends. I missed my family because I had everything here in Oslo when I left 3 years ago, and I've been a part of it. Or I come to Oslo like a week in the month or something like that, but you don't get to spend time with all of the relations that you want to keep in your life.
You're always catching up.
Exactly. You're always catching up, and it's just kind of, okay, so I have coffee with Thea at 5, and then I'm meeting Luna for a beer at 7.
Yeah.
It's just not just hanging out and be like, I'm in the park. Who lives here? Oh, Kai lives nearby here.
Yeah.
You want to come to the park? Just like, so.
When was the last time you were in Oslo then, living full time?
It was in, it was 2015.
2015?
Yeah.
That's a while ago.
Yeah, it is.
That's a while ago.
Yeah. So I just spending time with people I love.
Yes.
It's important. Very. And then enjoying the sun. I mean, we're going to work for the rest of our lives, right? So
I hope not.
But we probably are. We're going to get pension at
I'm retiring
70.
at 32.
Yeah, right. You tell yourself that.
Have you seen my sponsors?
Yeah, so we're working a whole life. So maybe I'm trying to just see this as something positive. Like I'd just relax, find out what you want to do next. spend time with family, friends, your boyfriend, and then have a huge summer vacation.
Yeah.
Go to Folgefonna and be there for a month.
Yeah.
Why not?
Strien is the new Folgefonna, by the way. Just so you know.
It is?
Yeah.
Isn't that just because we're getting older?
Have you seen Strien Festival?
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
In terms of parties and that Folgefonna trashy lifestyle, like that's pretty high up there.
Okay, so because I always thought that you went to Folgefonna and then you got too old for Folgefonna, so then you went to Strien.
The party just moves. The party just moves, and now we're all legal, so it's a blast.
Okay,
You got to be prepared for that, though.
Yeah,
it's if you're not prepared for the party, that's gonna kill you. That's a tough one.
You were there.
I've done it two times now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there last year.
Cool.
The after party starts at 2:00 on Saturday, and it goes until 8-9 in the morning, and then everybody sleeps off the hangover, and then you drive home. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. And the skiing's great, the sun's great, and you go kayaking whenever. It's, oh my God, there's nothing more fun than going skiing in the morning and then kayaking in the afternoon. It's a crazy, crazy kind of vibe.
Yeah, it is. Both I love both. I've been to Strien as well.
Yes.
I mean, but I love them both because of the fact that you can snowboard during day and then just hop in the ocean and take a swim after you snowboard for 3 hours.
It's great. It's life-changing.
It is.
I think it really changes your perspective on things once you realize that's all possible. Mm-hmm. I think it really opens you up and suddenly you can breathe again. I love that. So that's on your plan.
That's on my plan. Just have big vacation. Enjoy the sun. Mm-hmm. It's sunny outside today. I love that.
Thank God. Yes, we use natural light. I don't have any lights because I spent all my money on microphones. So it's all natural light. It's perfectly sunny outside. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it seems like it's going to stay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, May last year in Norway. I mean, Norway is a cold country. We have a lot of bad weather. But last year was incredible. And I mean, it's a bad thing because it's because of climate change.
Yeah.
But it's so great.
But it feels like the perfect amount of climate change.
Yeah, right.
We don't need any more.
Yeah, but just keep on doing what you're doing right now, Mother Earth.
That's horrible. That's a terrible thing to appreciate. But last year was amazing.
Yeah, and it's always cold there, so we Norwegians really appreciate the sun.
Yes.
And just spring and summer, they are the best months.
They are the best months. They have been.
Love it.
Yeah, recently. So it's going well. And now it's just daylight savings time. Just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Which means we have an extra hour of sunlight every day, which is awesome.
Woo.
So I was outside last night playing basketball at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, which it's fantastic. Yeah. It's great.
It does something with everything, like your mood and everything when it gets lighter and warmer. And
the best part is now that it's April, we've passed the spring equinox, I think it's what it's called, where the day is as long as the night. Yeah. So now the days are continually longer than the night, which
it's great. It's great.
Inexplicable.
I mean, winter depression is for real in Norway.
For
real. I have it every fucking year. It starts in November and then maybe in March. That's when the sun comes back and the days get longer and you really notice that the days are getting longer.
So you're feeling positive now.
Exactly.
You're feeling driven. You're feeling motivated.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo!
But now you get the opportunity to target that motivation towards something.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. My nightmare is that in September, I still don't have a job. I still don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I still just walk around like a headless chicken and be like,
Yeah, well, it's anybody's nightmare, isn't it? That's a tough one.
Yeah, but hopefully I will get an ID or I will get a job or something will happen before September sets in.
Yes. Do you want a job again in broadcasting? Do you want to move on to something else? Is there?
Well, I love radio, so I would love to do radio again. But I'm open to do TV, to do more behind of the camera kind of work.
In front of the camera.
No, yeah, I could, of course, in front of the camera.
You don't want to run the camera.
No. More like, casting maybe for a reality show.
Okay. Yeah.
Working with ideas on new concepts for TV or radio. And
That's cool.
We'll see.
Do you have any ideas?
No, not right now.
No, okay.
I had it a guy text me who works in this production company, asked me if I had any ideas, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I don't.
Oh, you have to have something.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, I'll text you when I get one, but right now.
Instead of sorry, I don't, you have to say, I have plenty, but I'm not allowed to tell you at the moment. That's I'm keeping them under lock. Yes. And then you just desperately come up with something. Oh my God, okay, I need something.
Yeah, but when I get the idea, I want it to be a good one, right?
Yeah.
So when you walk into that production company, you actually have a great idea that you actually believe in.
Is that something you can freelance with, or do you have to join a company?
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Just working with ideas. And of course, then you have to pitch you as a programleder, host, or somebody else.
Yeah. But that's something you want to do more of.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And I'm about to ask you an even tougher question. I apologize, but I want to finish off this because I find it interesting. I want to give you a hypothetical. And it's a classic one. It's something that everybody's already been through. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 things would you bring?
Oh, well, can I bring humans?
You can bring a human.
A human? Well, then
a human.
Okay.
You can't just bring 3 humans. You can do everything.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring my boyfriend for company.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
strand him on the island with you.
Yeah, we're gonna strand together.
Oh no.
And of course, we're gonna need clean water just to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I have my boyfriend and I have clean water. Mm-hmm. So that means that we can survive. Oh, but the last
one more thing.
That's the difficult one.
One more thing.
Because, of course, I should choose some food, right? But I would love to have some alcohol on that island so we don't get bored, right?
So you can go out in style.
Or, can you bring, a boat so you just can...
That is the right answer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's so cheap. I don't know where the question's limitations are. I'm always curious to hear people's answers to that because a lot of people think very short term. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to bring music, and I'm going to bring, I don't know, sunscreen, and I'm going to bring, okay, why? What are you doing that for?
Because you've seen, what's the name of the movie with the...
Castaway.
Yeah, Castaway. I mean, when I watch it, I always think about how important it is to actually have somebody to communicate with so you don't get so lonely.
Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson, right? Or a dog or another human being or... Even just a cow or a snake or whatever, just somebody to just communicate with. Yeah. And then of course, but it would be great to bring something just for fun, like
a volleyball.
Bring weeds.
Bring weed,
water, and my boyfriend.
There you go. Perfect. Weed, water, and my boyfriend. That's your 3. That's a hell of a 3. That's pretty good. And on that note, thank you very much, Vida Lill. I'm excited to see what you get up to. I'm excited you're back in Oslo, and it was fun chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. No plans for a new one, so just hang in there, and one will come out eventually. Yes. Peace.
Hey.
Sweet. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Who am I kidding? I don't know how to beatbox.